The average American eats around 8 pounds of strawberries in a year, which is roughly 96 strawberries. But here's what most people don't know. A strawberry isn't even really a berry, and its seeds are actually tiny little pieces of dry fruit called achenes. So actually, when you're eating one strawberry, you're actually eating 200 pieces of fruit. Kind of makes you look at things differently, right? So I started thinking, if something as small as a strawberry could have so much hidden on the inside, what might I be missing in the everyday things around me? What if I told you that the grocery store, just like a strawberry, has more to it than what meets the eye? What if I told you that life's greatest lessons don't come from a classroom or some girl giving you a lesson on the anatomy of a strawberry? The biggest life lessons that I ever learned came from the aisles of my local grocery store, getting pushed around in a cart by my parents. I started off these adventures with just one thing in my mind. For the next few hours, I would be getting the undivided attention of my parents, just me and them in the store for a few hours, with the added benefit of getting pushed around in the cart. It may be funny to think that something as ordinary as grocery shopping has shaped how I see the world, but somewhere along the line, it did. And I kind of thought everyone had their own version of this ritual until I started asking around, and to my surprise, most people didn't share this experience. Parents, how many times do you go to the grocery store alone? And kids, how many times do you accompany your parents willingly? Did you know that only 17% of adult grocery shoppers are even accompanied by kids? In my family, it was the opposite. We went together every single time. When I was little, there were a few times that me and my sister could spend real uninterrupted time with my dad. Due to his crazy work schedule and countless business trips, but on the rare evenings where he made it home early, he'd take us with him to the grocery store. And these small trips became some of my favorite memories. As I got older, this tradition continued, and whether it was with my dad or my mom, the ride there and the ride back became our place to reconnect. We often move through our days so fast that we forget to talk and slow down and really be with each other. The grocery store, out of all places, became our place to reconnect. And we would talk about everything, from my day at school to who made us laugh, who annoyed us, and even what was for lunch in the cafeteria. I don't even think I'd be as close with my parents as I am now without these trips. The time you have with anyone deserves to be valued and used well, because it's moments like these that might seem meaningless while it's happening that might stay with you forever. But these trips weren't just about talking. They taught me how to see things differently. I began to see the value in being open-minded and seeing things for what they truly were. I remember my parents had a habit. On their grocery list, they wouldn't write specific fruits. They would just write fruits on sale. And I didn't really understand this at the moment, but when I got older, I realized it as their way of being resourceful, curious, and flexible. They were teaching me to look for opportunity and not limitation. And standing in the produce aisle, we would be surrounded in fruit, some looking bright and delicious, and some looking pretty questionable, especially to 8-year-old me. And my parents would be examining nutritional values and price tags and carefully adding these new fruit to the growing cart. And several times, I would be ready to protest, looking doubtful at this fruit like jackfruit in the cart. And sometimes I would complain and argue, not wanting to try the new fruit. But to my dismay, it would find its way into our cart, through the checkout, all the way to our car. This mystery fruit that was different almost every time we went, all the way to my plate at the table. As this tradition continued, like through each aisle, whether it was with a different type of coffee ground, a new, healthier type of bread, or a different chips brand than usual, my parents pushed me to try new things and expand my horizons. Grocery shopping became about embracing the rhythm of the seasons, the joy of discovery, and the wisdom of working with what life gives you. Optimism started to seep from the aisles into my attitude. And you know what? One of my favorite fruits now is jackfruit. And that curiosity I learned in the aisles soon turned into something more important, making smart choices. New research from the Junior Achievement in Citizens shows that 54% of teenagers feel unsure about their financial future and the big decisions that come along with it. That is more than half of us unsure about the very thing that's going to shape our futures. The truth is the future sneaks up on us a lot faster than we expect. So how do we as kids make sure that we're prepared and that you as parents can help us get there? Like an onion from the vegetable aisle, there are many layers to a good decision. There is logic, emotion, and most of all, practicality. And luckily for me, practicality was practically filling the aisles of our grocery store. Okay, speaking of strawberries, I remember one time me and my dad made it all the way to the checkout without getting these fruits on sale on our list. And placing kind of a misplaced trust in me, he sent me back to the produce aisle to quickly grab something so we could check out. I was entirely lost in labels. There were organic products, differing sizes, bright tags. What should I even get? Okay, I like strawberries. Maybe I should start there. And this big package looks good. It can probably last a while. And organic sounds really fancy. Let's just say I bought probably the most expensive option there was. And in a hurry, my dad didn't even catch it until we got home. Needless to say, he was not too pleased. But from that day on, a new ritual was added to each aisle. My dad taught me how to compare and examine value and how to tell when a fancy label was just clever marketing. Each item placed in our cart came with a reason, and I began to catch on and develop this skill. And with how expensive groceries are now, lessons like these matter more than ever. But how do I trace and draw all of this wisdom back to the grocery store? It's so easy for me to sit here and tell you, this changed my life, or I'll never see things the same again, you guys need to try this. But how do I even really know? For me, the answer comes through reflection. I look back on these experiences and I ask myself, what moments shaped me? And what choices even led me here? What if when my parents asked me to go to the grocery store with them, I just said no? What if these weekly trips never became our thing? Maybe the grocery store would have just, grocery shopping would have just been another chore. And maybe I wouldn't know half of the lessons that now shape me today. Would I still be as close with my parents? Would I still know how to make thoughtful decisions? Would I still see challenges as opportunity? Honestly, probably not. But if there's one thing that those countless trips to the grocery store taught me, is that the ordinary can hold the extraordinary, but only if you take the time to see it. Just as I once looked past the true nature of a strawberry, we all might have overlooked the beauty hidden within something as ordinary as a grocery run. To this day, I still love going to the grocery store with my parents. Each trip teaches me something new about them, about life, and about myself. And I still spring up from my seat when my parents so much as utter the word grocery store, even though I have a list of assignments to complete. So kids, next time your parents invite you to go to the grocery store with them, don't just say no, say yes with enthusiasm. And parents, next time you go to the grocery store, invite your kids along for the ride. Take these moments to talk, to teach, to laugh, and to connect. Because it's moments like these, like picking out a package of strawberries at the grocery store, that turn into something extraordinary. And that's how you can go from cart to connection. Thank you so much for your time.